Okay, so I like to do it differently every single time. It's never the same. All right, so today's is Tetzaveh. Tetzaveh, which is you shall command. You shall command. And last week was Teruma, which is a contribution. Today is Tetzaveh. And we're going to do Exodus 27, 28. It's the end of 27, actually. So 27:20 up to 30, verse 10. Okay? So the reading starts with 27:20 of Exodus. And that's the first phrase, you shall command. Tetzaveh. Okay? And it says, Ve'ata tetzaveh et b'nei Israel. You shall command the people of Israel. Ve'ikhu elecha shemen zayit zak katit lamaor leha'alot ner tamid. And it's that they bring a pure beaten olive oil. All right, is that what's olive, my darling? Is it Zayit? Zayit. Yeah. Zayit. Okay, for the light. That's where it says all is a light. That a lamp may regularly be set up to burn. What does that mean? Hello? See, we got to learn to actually have
continually burning.
Yeah, but what's the verse saying? Command the people of Israel to bring pure beaten olive oil for the light, that a lamp may regularly be set up to burn. Okay, what's it talking about?
God, the light of the world.
No, just give me the straight up one interpretation, literal meaning. Don't get hyper spiritual on me now. What is the one up, straight up, literal interpretation? Meaning, what is it? A menorah. Oil for the menorah. Okay. What?
Pure oil.
Organic oil for the menorah. A lamp. A light in the temple. Where did it go?
No.
Outer court, holy place, or holy of holies?
Holy place.
Holy place, yes. How many sticks did it have?
8.
7. Where is it referred to in the New Testament? I'm the light of the world. That was at the feast when they would like to have the menorah lit outside. And where else?
When Jesus, his brothers wanted to go down to the feast. Is that? Well,
Yes, Revelation chapter 3.
Yeah.
He walks amongst the candlesticks. Right? So he walks among the candlesticks. That's a menorah. How many were there?
7.
Aha! So what was John having a revelation of?
Minorah.
See, we gotta get our sort of modern Western Gentile American, reinterpretive kind of lenses out of this. When he talks, it's the Bible's one, and when he talks about, I walk among the candlesticks. I don't think of, like a candlestick like in a Catholic church. All right? That's what we think of, right? But it's talking about the menorah from the temple. the Jewish menorah in the temple, in each one of the 7 churches in Asia Minor, brand new churches, well, not brand new, but they've been around some decades, is typified by one of those things. He sees the churches in a vision of the holy place in the temple. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Right? And I believe this is actually after the destruction of the temple. The temple was destroyed in 70 AD. Revelation is written when? Look at the beginning of Revelation. See a writing date? I believe it's 90. You can confirm that. Maybe that's a question. I got to refresh you on that. Okay, so there's the second, is the second person imperfect of the root tzevaha, meaning to command, mitzvah. And this reading begins with God telling Moshe to command the children of Israel to provide pure beaten olive oil. All right? Pure beaten olive oil. Shemen. All right? Zait. Katit. Shemen, zait, zach, katit. Pure. The zait is the olive. And to feed the everlasting flame. To feed the everlasting ner tamid. The everlasting flame of the menorah. All right? The priestly garments worn by the priests, the Kohanim, while serving in the HaKoresh, the holy place, are also described in this Torah portion. So this is to do with the menorah and then the priestly garments. All right. Blue, white, purple, and red. Okay. Blue standing for heaven. Say again. What?
Just thinking about the words in here.
Which ones?
Blue.
Blue standing for heaven. White for righteousness. Red for the blood. Purple for royalty. But there's also other kind of meanings as well. What were the other ones?
You had light red and dark. You were using that light red.
Yeah, the purple is like a dark red, and then the red is like a lighter red. And maybe there's different thoughts on that.
I think it's like a burgundy.
Huh?
Maybe like a burgundy type of red. Purple.
Yeah, we can give you more on that. On the colors. So, according to Jewish tradition, only the first few drops of oil, okay, shemen, is it shimon or shemen? Shemen. Shemen. Shemen or shemen? Only the first few drops of shemen pressed from the zait were to be used for the menorah. These were considered the first fruits of the olives and also the brightest of the oils. Oh, they burn brightest, huh? The menorah was lit every afternoon and would burn throughout the night. Every morning, the priest would enter the holy place of the Mishkan to empty the ashes from the lamps and insert new wicks. However, a tradition says that the Midrash says that the westernmost light, Ner Ma'aravi, would remain burning, which was then used to light the other 6 lamps. Similar to the way the Shamash, so we've got the Shemen and then the Shamash, the servant candle, it's called the servant candle, was used to light the other candles at Chanukah. Only after the other lamps were lit would he blow out the Ner Ma'aravi, clear its ashes and rekindle it. Now for the Birdei Kehuna, the priestly garments. Birdei Kehuna. Can you say Birdei?
Beged. Beged is clothes.
Birdei.
Big day.
Beged is clothes.
Big day.
Birdei.
Big day.
Birdei.
Big day.
Like it's a really big day. You put on your clothes. Okay. Only descendants of Aaron were allowed to wear the priestly garments. So a Levite or regular Israelites could not do so. And it was only while he was performing service in the Mishkan. Avodah. Is there another word that you can think of for Eved? Remember? Eved?
That means to work.
To work or serve, right? Can you think of an Arabic word that's similar to that? A name? Abdullah, servant of Allah. So Abada. So Avodah, that's priestly service in the temple, had 4 required garments, whereas the high priest had 8. Okay? All regular priests wore a coutonette, okay, which was a full-length tunic or long shirt. 2, a mechnasayim.
Oh, that's pants.
Yeah, that's pants. Undergarments. Mirba'at, a band of white linen wound into a pointed turban. And avnet, a very long sash that was wound above the waist. The avnet was over 60 feet in length. It takes a while to put on, doesn't it?
That's the turban?
That was around the waist.
Oh.
In addition to these, the Kohen Gadol wore an ephod, which was an apron-like garment made of blue, purple, and red dyed wood. Wool. Not wood. That would have been heavy, but wool. Linen and gold thread. The Koshen Mishpat, a breastplate. Okay? So an ephod, a breastplate with 12 precious stones, inscribed with the names of the 12 tribes of Israel. Worn over the ephod with a pouch that contained the Urim and the Tumim. 2 stones used to discern God's will. 7, Me'il Techelet, a robe of blue wool with golden bells and decorative pomegranates in its hem. 8, the tzitzi, a golden headband, tzitz, bearing the inscription, Holy to the Lord. Notice that neither the regular Kohanim nor the Kohen Gadol wore shoes or slippers. In other words, they served in the Mishkan and later the temple barefoot. Praise Jesus. According to Jewish tradition, the bells were worn on the high priest's coat in order to scare off the angels that were serving in the Kodesh section of the Mishkan. Apparently, God did not want any of the angels there to be critical of the high priest as he performed his duties. Another tradition states that the bells were used so that the Israelites would remember to pray for the priest as he served on their behalf. Would you like to wear bells in your service?
Gold headband on your head.
Yeah, like bells. You move and bells are tingling. Okay.
60-foot belt.
The chosen... Oh, sorry. The koshen of the high priest that was worn over the ephod contained two special gem coral stones called the Urim Tumim, lights and perfection. Okay, Urim, like the word or is light, Urim, so lights, Urim, and what's the second part? Tumin. Okay, it's tet, mem, yod, min. So tumim, perfections. Exodus 28:30, which we'll cover this morning. Leviticus 8:8, Numbers 27:21, and Deuteronomy 33:8. These stones were used to discern the will of God in some cases. 1 Samuel 14:41, 28:6, Ezra 2:63, Nehemiah 7:65. Some have claimed that the Shekinah would cause the Urim and Tumim to light up and shine on the Avnei Koshen, the 12 gemstones in the Koshen that represent the 12 tribes, since each stone was inscribed with the name of a tribe of Israel. The letters illuminated on the Koshen would reveal an answer to a question posed by the high priest. The Koshen was arranged with 4 rows of 3 stones. Each stone was inscribed with 6 letters. I'm going to read that again. The Koshen was arranged with 4 rows of 3 stones. Okay, so 4. So 3, 3, 3, 3. And each stone was inscribed with 6 letters, representing a name of the of the tribe of a tribe of Israel, totaling 72 letters. So row 1 was Reuben, Simeon, and Levi, Ruby, Topaz, and Garfinkel. Row 2, Judah, Carbuncle, Issachar, Sapphire, and Zebulun, Pearl. Row 3 was Dan, Jacinth, Naphtali, Agate, and Gad, Crystal. And row 4 was Asher, which was Emerald, Joseph, Onyx, and Benjamin, Yashneh, an unknown stone. Isn't that interesting? Benjamin's is an unknown stone. Huh? You thought it was what? Well, when we read it, we can see how the King Jesus version translated it, but that's kind of... Yashneh is the thing. Yasna! Tell my mom her friend's name is...
Unknown stone.
Is the unknown stone of Benjamin.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Yishna?
Yashneh.
Yasner.
According to
Yasner.
the Gemara Sota, the shamir was a miraculous worm as small as a grain of barley that was used to engrave the names of the tribes on the stones. Believers in Mashiach Yeshua are likewise appointed to be a kingdom of priests, 1 Peter 2:9, and have direct access to the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, to discern the will of God. to do this through faith, asking the Lord for wisdom, trusting in his light and perfection to guide us into all truth. 16:3 of John. Then we've got the Mizbeach HaKetoret, the altar of incense, which was the second altar of the Mishkan. The first was the large one for animal sacrifices in the outer court. But this altar of incense was constructed of wood overlaid with pure beaten gold and placed in the Kodesh section of the structure next to the Minorah and the Torah table of showbread, perhaps right next to the curtain, but separated the holy place from the Holy of Holies. Twice a day, in the morning and again in the afternoon, a priest would burn incense on this altar as an intercessory reminder to the Lord on behalf of Israel. A Midrash states that even though there was only a thin layer of gold covering the altar of incense, the wood was never scorched by the fire. Why Aaron's descendants and not Moses's? In connection with this service of the Mishkan, the question may arise as to why Aaron's descendants were chosen to serve and not Moses's. In other words, why wasn't Moses chosen to be the Kohen Gadol for Israel? The great Jewish sage Rashi states that the Lord at first wanted Moses to be the Kohen Gadol, but because he refused to lead Israel at the incident of the burning bush, God chose his brother and his descendants to be Kohanim, whereas Moses and his descendants would be Levites or assistants instead. Isn't that interesting? See Parashah Shemot for some more information. Prophetically, even though Moses himself was a picture of Mashiach Yeshua, he was unable to enter into the land of ultimate promise. And the entire priesthood system was based on the Mishkan temple, was destined to be superseded by a greater priesthood after the order Melchizedek of Melchizedek. Tetzaveh and Purim. On the Shabbat before Purim, the weekly parasha is supplemented with Zakor, remember, reading in Deuteronomy 25:17-19, in which we're commanded to remember, Zakor, the evil of Amalek, and to eradicate it from the face of the earth. This is done because some of the Jewish sages teach that Haman was a descendant of Amalek. Zakor etz asher asa lekha Amalek baderek b'tzitechem Mitzrayim. Remember what Amalek did to you on the way when you came out of Mitzrayim, Egypt. Asher korecha baderek vazanev becha kol ha-necheshalim acherecha ve'ata ayev ve'yagea ve'lo yare Elohim. How he attacked you on the way when you were faint and weary and cut off your tail, those who were lagging behind you, and he did not fear God. Ve'haya behaniach Adonai Elohecha lecha mikol oivecha misaviv be'aretz. Therefore, when Lord your God has given you rest from all your enemies in the land, asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha nachala lerishta timche et zene Amalek, in the land he's given you, that the Lord your God has given you to preserve as an inheritance to possess. You shall blot out the memory of Amalek mitachat ha-shamayim lo tishkach. From the under heaven you shall not forget. That's quite a statement, huh? And it's got to do with evil. obviously literally Amalek, but evil in general. You know, victory over sin.
Is it Purim right now?
I don't know. Haftarah. Okay, let's read this quickly. 27:20. Give it to me. And up to 30 verse 10. Okay? Okay, so we're going to look at Exodus 27:20 up to 30 verse 10. And I'm going to read from the TLV. Okay? Exodus 27 verse 20. Okay, Parashah Tetzaveh. Also, you are to command Bnei Israel that they are to bring to you pure olive oil beaten for light, to cause a lamp to burn continually in the tent of meeting outside of the curtain, which is before the testimony. Aaron and his sons will set it in order. Okay? To burn from evening to morning before Adonai. It will be a statute forever throughout their generations on behalf of Bnei Israel. Bring your brother Aaron near with his sons from among Bnei Israel, so that they may minister to me as Kohanim. Aaron and his sons, Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Itamar. You are to make holy garments for your brother Aaron for splendor and for beauty. You are to speak to all who are skilled, whom I have filled with the spirit of artistry, to make Aaron's garments for consecrating him, so that he may minister to me as a Kohen. These are the garments that they are to make: a breastplate, an ephod, a robe, and a tunic of checkered work, a turban and a sash. They are to make holy garments for your brother Aaron and his sons, so that he may minister to me as Kohen. They are to use gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and fine linen. They are to make the ephod of gold, blue, and purple and scarlet, finely twisted linen, the work of skillful craftsmen. It is, and I believe it's 6 pieces of thread. It is to have 2 shoulder pieces stitched to the 2 ends, so that it may be joined together. The skillfully woven band, which is upon it, with which it is to be bound, is to be made like the design, and from the same piece of gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and finely twisted linen. You're to take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the name of Bnei Israel, 6 of the names on one stone, and the names of the remaining 6 on the other stone, in the order of their birth. With the work of a gem cutter, engraving a seal, etch the 2 stones in the order of the names of Bnei Israel. They make them enclosed in settings of gold. Fasten the 2 stones upon the shoulder pieces of the ephod to be memorial stones for Bnei Israel. So Aaron is to bear their names before Adonai on his 2 shoulders as a reminder. Fashion filigree settings of gold along the 2 chains of pure gold or braided work. You will attach the chains to the filigree settings. Make a breastplate of judgment, the work of a skillful craftsman. You're to make it like the design of the ephod, of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet, and finely twisted linen. It is to be square and doubled over, a span in length and a span in width. Set within it 4 rows of jewels, a row of ruby, topaz, and emerald for the first row, a turquoise, a sapphire, and a diamond for the second row, a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst for the third, and a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper for the 4th row. They are to be enclosed in gold filigree settings. The stones are to be engraved in the order of the names of Bnei Israel, 12 according to the names, like the etchings of a signet seal, 1 corresponding to each of the names of the 12 tribes. Also, you're to make upon the breastplate braided chains of wreathed work from pure gold. Forge on the breastplate 2 rings of gold and fasten the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. Then attach the 2 wreathed chains of gold on the 2 rings at the end of the breastplate. The other 2 ends of the chains you're to place on the 2 settings and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod in front. So you are to make 2 rings of gold and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate and on the edge of it that is towards the inner side of the ephod. Also make 2 rings and place them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod underneath, in front, close to where it is joined, above the artfully woven band of the ephod. Then they will bind the breastplate by its rings to the rings of the ephod with a blue thread, so that it may be on the skillfully woven band of the ephod, and so that the breastplate will not come loose from it. Aaron will bear the names of Bnei Israel in the breastplate of judgment on his heart whenever he enters the holy place as a continual memorial before Adonai. Also put the Urim and Thummim within the breastplate of judgment, so they will be on Aaron's heart when he goes in before Adonai. Aaron will bear the judgment of Bnei Israel on his heart before Adonai continually. You are to make the robe of the ephod entirely of blue. It is to have a hole for the head in the center, and a binding of woven work around the hole as a collar, so that it may not be torn. On the hem of it, you are to make pomegranates of blue, purple, and scarlet, all around the hem, with golden bells between them. 1 golden bell and a pomegranate, then another golden bell and a pomegranate on the hem of the robe all around. It must be worn by Aaron whenever he ministers. The sound will be heard when he goes into the holy place before Adonai. Okay, this is 28:35. And when he comes out, so that he does not die. Also, you are to make a plate of pure gold and engrave on it, like the engravings of a seal, holy to Adonai. Attach it with a violet cord onto the turban, on the front of the turban, so it will rest on Aaron's forehead, so that Aaron will bear away the iniquity committed regarding the holy things which Bnei Israel set apart as all their holy gifts. It is to be always on his forehead, so that they may have favor before Adonai. You are to weave the tunic in checkered work of fine linen, make a turban of fine linen, and make a sash, the work of a color weaver. For Aaron's sons, you are to make tunics, sashes, and headwear for them, for splendor and for beauty. Put them on Aaron your brother and on his sons with him, and anoint them, consecrate them, and sanctify them, so they may minister to me as Kohanim. You are to make linen undergarments for them, to cover the skin of their nakedness, from the hips to the thighs. They are to be worn by Aaron and his sons when they go into the tent of meeting, or when they approach the altar to minister in the holy place, so that they do not become subject to guilt and die. It is to be a statute forever to him and his offspring after him. 29. Now this is what you are to do to consecrate them, so that they may minister as Kohanim. Take 1 young bull and 2 rams without blemish, along with matzot, cakes of matzot, mixed with oil, and matzot wafers spread with oil. Make them from fine wheat flour. You are to put them into 1 basket and present them along with the bull and the 2 rams. You are to bring Aaron and his sons to the entrance of the tent of meeting and wash them with water, and take the garments and put the tunic on Aaron along with the robe, the ephod, and the breastplate. Gird him with an artfully woven band of the ephod. Set the turban on his head and put the holy coronet on the turban. Then you're to take the anointing oil, pour it upon his head, and anoint him. Also you're to bring his sons and put tunics on them. You're to gird Aaron and his sons with sashes, tie headwear on them, and they shall hold the priesthood by a perpetual statute. In this way you're to consecrate Aaron and his sons. You're to bring the bull before the tent of meeting, and Aaron and his sons are to lay their hands on its head. You're to slaughter the bull before Adonai at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Then take the blood of the bull and put it on the horns of the altar with your finger, and pour out all the remaining blood at the base of the altar. Also, take all the fat that covers the innards and the lobe above the liver, the 2 kidneys along with the fat that is on them, and burn them on the altar. But the meat of the bull, along with its skin and its dung, you're to burn with fire outside the camp. It's a sin offering. Then take 1 ram, have Aaron and his sons lay their hand upon the head of the ram, then slaughter the ram, take its blood, sprinkle it around the altar. You're to cut the ram in pieces, watch its innards and its legs, and place them with its head and other pieces. Then you're to offer the whole ram up in smoke on the altar. It is a burnt offering to Adonai, a sweet aroma, and an offering made by fire to Adonai. Then take the other ram and have Aaron and his sons lay their hands upon the head of that ram. Slaughter the ram, take its blood, and dab it on the tip of the right ear of Aaron, on the tip of the right ears of his sons, and on the thumb of their right hands, and on the big toes of their right feet. Then pour the blood on the altar all around. Also, you have to take some of the blood that is on the altar, along with the anointing oil, and sprinkle it on Aaron and his garments, and on his sons and their garments. In this way, he and his garments are to be consecrated, along with his sons and their garments. Moreover, take some of the fat from the ram, along with the fat tail, the fat that covers the innards, the covering over the liver, the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, along with the right thigh, because it is a ram of consecration. Also, take 1 loaf of bread, 1 cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer out of the basket of matzot that is before Adonai. And you're to put the entirety of Aaron's hands in the hands of his sons and present them as a wave offering before Adonai. Then you're to take them out of their hands and offer them up in smoke on the altar on top of the burnt offering as a sweet aroma before Adonai, an offering made by fire to Adonai. And take the breast of Aaron's ram of consecration and wave it as a wave offering before Adonai, so it will be your portion. Set apart the breast of the cake offering and the thigh of the contribution, which is waved and offered up from the ram of consecration, including what belongs to Adonai and his sons. And it is to belong to Aaron and his sons as their due share forever from Bnei Israel, because it is a contribution. It is to be a contribution from Bnei Israel from the sacrifices of fellowship offerings, their contribution to Adonai. The holy garments of Aaron are to pass to his sons after him, to be anointed in them, and to be consecrated in them. The son that succeeds him is Cohen, who comes into the tent of meeting to minister in the holy place, is to put them on for 7 days. You're to take the ram of consecration and boil its meat in the holy place. Aaron and his sons are to eat the meat of the ram and bread that is in the basket at the entrance of the tent of meeting. They're to eat those things with which atonement was made, to consecrate and sanctify them. But a layman is not to eat them, because they're holy. If some of the meat of the consecration or the bread remains until the morning, you're to burn them the remainder with fire, shall not be eating, because it is holy. Do for Aaron and his sons everything according to what I've commanded you. Consecrate them for 7 days. Each day you're to offer a bull as a sin offering, apart from the other offerings of atonement. Also, purify the altar wherein you make atonement, and anoint it in order to sanctify it. You're to make atonement for the altar for 7 days, and so sanctify it. The altar will be most holy, and whatever touches it shall become holy. Now, this is what you are to offer upon the altar: 2 one-year-old lambs each day, continually. You're to offer 1 lamb in the morning and another lamb at dusk. Offer along with the first lamb 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour. mixed with 1/4 of a hin of beaten oil, and 1/4 of a hin of wine as a drink offering. The other lamb you're to offer at dusk, like the grain offering and drink offering of the morning, as a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to Adonai. It is to be a continual burnt offering throughout your generations at the entrance of the tent of meeting before Adonai. There I will meet with you, to speak with you. There I will meet with Ben Asher there. So it shall be sanctified by my glory. So I will sanctify the tent of meeting and the altar. I will also sanctify Aaron and his sons to minister to me as Kohanim. So I will dwell among Bnei Israel and be their God. Then you will know that I am Adonai their God, who brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, so that I may live among them. I am Adonai their God. You are to make an altar of acacia wood for burning incense. It is to be square, 1 cubit in length, 1 cubit wide, 2 cubits high. The horns must be of one piece with it. Interesting, huh? The horns were part of the one piece of acacia wood. You had to overlay it with pure gold on top, all around the sides, over the horns. In other words, he didn't want the horns to snap off. Also, you had to make a crown of gold for all around, like a little knops, all around. Make 2 golden rings for it under the crown on the 2 sides, and they will be holders for poles to carry it. Make the poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. You're to set it in front of the curtain that is in front of the Ark of Testimony, in front of the atonement cover that is over the testimony, where I'll meet you. Aaron must burn sweet spices of incense there every morning. When he attends to the lamps, he is to burn it. Also, when Aaron keeps the lamps lit at dusk, he must burn it. There must be incense continually before Adonai throughout your generations. You must not offer up unauthorized incense on it. Nor should any burnt offering or grain offering be there. Nor should you pour any drink offering there. Aaron is to make atonement upon the horns once a year with the blood of the sin offering throughout your generations. It is most holy to Adonai. All right, now for the Haftarah of Parashah Tetzaveh. This is now details of the construction of the altar in the mysterious heavenly temple of the Mashiach and the dedication of that temple in the Messianic age. There is some debate amongst Orthodox Jews if this temple is built by God himself and descends to earth, or if the Messiah builds it during the Messianic age. So now this is in Ezekiel chapter 43 and verse 10. All right, we'll go to 27, which reads, "You, son of man, describe the house to the house of Israel, so that they will be ashamed of their iniquities. Let them measure accurately. If they be ashamed of all they have done, sketch out the house for them, its layout, its exits, its entrances, its complete design, with all its ordinances and all its laws. Write it down in their sight, so they may observe its complete design and all its ordinances, and do them. This is the Torah of the house. The whole territory around it on top of the mountain will be most holy. Behold, this is the Torah of the house. These are the measurements of the altar by cubits, a cubit being a normal cubit plus a handbreadth. Its gutter will be a cubit deep and a cubit wide. Its rim will be 1 span surrounding the edge. This will be the base of the altar. From the base on the ground to the lower ledge will be 2 cubits, and the width 1 cubit. From the smaller ledge to the larger ledge, 4 cubits, and a width of a cubit. The altar hearth will be 4 cubits high, 4 horns will project upward from the hearth. The hearth will be 12 cubits long by 12 wide, with 4 sides square. The ledge will be 14 cubits long and 14 wide, with 4 sides square. The border surrounding it shall be half a cubit, and its bottom will be a cubit all round. Its steps will face the east. Then he said to me, Son of man, thus says Adonai Elohim, these are the statutes for the altar on the day when they'll construct it, in order to offer burnt offerings on it and to sprinkle blood on it. Give a young bull for a sin offering to the Levitical Kohanim, who are from the offspring of Zadok, who come near to me to minister to me. It is the declaration of Adonai. You are to take some of its blood and put it on its 4 horns, on the 4 corners of the ledge, and on the border around it. You will purify it and make atonement for it. Take the bull of the sin offering and burn it in the appointed place of the house, outside the sanctuary. On the 2nd day, offer a male goat without blemish as a sin offering. They'll purify the altar as they purified it with the bull. When you have finished purifying it, offer a young bull without blemish and a ram out of the flock without blemish. Present them before Adonai. The Kohanim will cast salt upon them. They will offer them as burnt offering to Adonai. Every day for 7 days, prepare a goat as a sin offering. They will prepare a young bull and a ram out of the flock without blemish. They will make atonement for the altar and cleanse it for 7 days. This is how they'll consecrate it. When they have completed the days, from the 8th day and onward, the Kohanim will make you burnt offerings upon the altar, as well as your fellowship offerings. Then I will accept you. It is a declaration of Adonai. So for the Brit Chadashah reading, it concerns the spiritual temple and our relationships to that temple through Yeshua as our Kohen Gadol after the order of Melchizedek. 2 Corinthians 9, 1-15. A key phrase here is, we have an altar from which those who serve the tent have no right to eat. Hebrews 13, verse 10. Which indicates that the altar of Mashiach is not available to those who attempt to find merit through the Levitical system, the ritualistic expression of the Sinai covenant. The mention of Yeshua's suffering outside the camp refers to the sin offerings, chatat and asham, that were required for atonement to be made. These sacrifices had to be offered by the anointed high priest, who would sprinkle the blood of the sacrifice 7 times inside the Mishkan on the golden altar opposite the curtain before the Holy of Holies. The chelev was not to be mistaken with kelev. Chelev.
Milk?
Huh? Chelev. It's chelev and it's but it's Chelev was burned on the altar. Not unlike the other offerings, the rest of the animal, its hide, flesh, and body parts would be taken outside the camp to be burned with fire. Followers of Yeshua are likewise told to go outside the camp to bear reproaches of those who still hold the terms of the older covenant in Hebrews 13:12. So let's read it's not 2 Corinthians 9, it's Hebrews 13, 10-17, sorry. So Hebrews 13, verse 10-17. Yeah, this is a great passage. We have an altar from which those serving in the tabernacle have no right to eat, for the bodies of those animals whose blood is brought into the Holy of Holies by the Kohen Gadol as an offering for sin are burned outside the camp. Therefore, to make the people holy through his blood, Yeshua also suffered outside the gate. So let us go to him outside the camp, bearing his disgrace. For here we have no lasting city, but we seek the one that is to come. Through Yeshua, then, let us continually offer up to God a sacrifice of praise, the fruit of lips, giving thanks to his name. Do not neglect doing good and sharing. With such sacrifices, God is well pleased. Obey your leaders and submit to them, for they keep watch over your souls as ones who must give an account. Let them do this with joy and not with groaning, for that would be of no benefit to you. Okay? Next week is when you take ki tisa. Alright? When you take the census of the people of Israel. So, anyone have any comments or questions on you shall command Tetzaveh? Very instructive. Very like mandating. Like an imperative. Like directive. This is how I want it done. This is how I want their clothes. This is how I want them sanctified. The menorah.
And if not,
Meaning you can't just do it how you want. Like Watchman's statement. Man likes to worship God man's way. Right? Any comments or questions?
What do you mean by the pomegranates on the head?
It's like the shape, these bowl things.
Do you know what pomegranate is?
Yeah, I know what the fruit pomegranate is. Right?
Yeah, so it's shaped like that.
I'm just engraving a picture of it, basically.
Yeah.
Embroidering, I should say.
It wasn't actual pomegranates.
I know that, but
wait,
I didn't know
so the high priest wore the same thing his father wore.
Yeah, for a week.
Did they wash the blood off that they sprinkled on it?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Remember they had blood on her right ear?
What?
the right thumb.
The what are they?
TLE.
I'm sorry, say that again?
It's hard to read along in the King James Version to the TLE.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else on the clothes?
Why was the belt 60 feet long? 60 feet?
Yeah, that's a long sash, huh?
Take all day winding around you.
Not 60 inches?
Hmm?
That's a typo?
I remember that from the last time we did this parashah.
What, 60 feet?
So the colors of the robes,
Yeah, what are the colors? Because I learned the colors. So white is Levan, purple is Sigol, red is Adom, and blue is,
You
I
have to be
think,
careful.
Kachol.
You have to be careful.
Kachol.
okay, so white, sky blue is Techeles.
It's a different color than my own. Teheles. Okay.
The two shades of red are Agaman and Shani.
Agamon.
Those aren't the colors I learned either.
White represents purity. I think we can all agree on that. Purity, righteousness. The basis for serving the Lord. And the curtains surrounding the courtyard of the Mishkan were white. Sky blue.
How do you say sky blue again? Telesa?
The heavenly heaven or the heavenly life or the heavenly component that God has placed in our human spirit. Alright? The color which at the limit of our horizon seems to be to point to a realm beyond human sight represents godliness revealed to us. Interesting. Okay. So the red or lighter red, like blood red, is as the color of blood represents the blood or represents the life blood. Okay, the blood shed for us. And also our life, our soul life. Used to describe Esau, Esav, and David. David had reddy hair.
Who was the second?
What about the one that that you read the word violet for? You read the word violet for one of them.
Argaman, darker red or purple. Royalty.
Argamani
What
is
about scarlet?
dark red.
Okay.
The vital forces and actions in a man. Maybe, yeah. Interesting.
So what's the word for blue again?
Heaven. Oh, the word is techeles. Yeah. Okay.
Can I see that?
What? Okay, just 1 second to me. All right, God bless you all. Bye.